I think we live in a world where a lot of people feel helpless or feel like they can't make a difference or don't know where to start. Even though we live in a democracy and we have freedoms that many people in the world don't, and we can take action, I don't think a lot of people feel empowered to take action. Like, we've somehow lost a lot of agency in our society. And so to see something like ATX DAO or any other city DAO, start to bring people together in meaningful ways that motivate action and that remind us that, you know what? No, we can fucking do things. Like, we can take action, we can make change, we can do positive things for our community, and we don't need permission. We can do this today, right? Like, that's one of the macro effects of not only the DAO, but just crypto in general that I love. It's like, power back to the people. Let's make good happen.
Welcome to the ATX DAO podcast, the hub for exploring the forefront of blockchain technology and Austin's Web3 community. Your hosts, Nick, Mason, Luke, and Ash, connect you with innovators within ATX DAO and beyond as we venture into the world of decentralized technology. So crack open a beer and join us for a front row seat to learn about the innovations and trends shaping our digital future. This is the ATX DAO podcast.
What's up, guys? Welcome back. Welcome back after the holiday.
What's going on?
Yeah, it's been a wild one. Been a wild few weeks, right? Fuck.
Hasn't it? Yeah, I think we got some catching up to do. We got to talk about the holidays. We got to talk about some of this craziness in the markets. We've got a lot of stuff going on in the DAO. But how were your holidays? Luke, how was yours?
They were good. It was a wild time for me. So I think I mentioned on the show before, so I am going to get my master's in blockchain and digital currency, and I had finals. So throughout the whole holiday period, I was working assignments, learning Bitcoin scripts, getting ready for finals, which just ended yesterday. So I am free for the next few weeks before I start the next round. So holidays themselves were great. So great to spend time with family and stuff like that.
Well, studying is the gift that keeps on giving, especially when it's related to Bitcoin and crypto. So, Absolutely. But we're living in that world where you can actually study for a test about crypto. That's pretty cool.
It is cool. It is. And I will just plug that if anyone's trying to learn that, ChatGPT is a fantastic tutor. They will look at your code, tell you what you did wrong, tell you why you have to do things. I could not say enough good things about how much it helped me.
Did you guys see when GPT dropped how Stack Overflow, they lost like a significant portion of their traffic?
Oh shit, I didn't see that. Yep.
Yeah, so Stack Overflow is where all the developers go. They'll ask questions about their code, they get feedback and stuff. When GPT dropped and it could start understanding code, Stack Overflow actually saw this drop in traffic. It's kind of like the Huberman effect with alcohol and alcohol sales in San Francisco. Same thing's happening. This is the crazy ass world we're living in.
That's wild.
Yeah, man. Well, that's kudos to you, man, for fucking leveling up on during the holidays, dude. That's super dope. It's like, It's hard to find people who are like, yo, like, I'm doing this thing and I'm like, I'm going to hit the upgrade button, and I know the upgrade button requires me to go run uphill. So that's awesome that you're fucking doing it, man. More power to you.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. Cheers, man. Ash, what about you? How was your holiday?
Kind of similar, but more like a level up, level down kind of thing, like much like the journey is, as Luke might tell you, right? And as all too well. It's that so I took the family to go visit my sister actually in St. Louis, which was super cool. Had a chance to like go wander around Forest Park. I am blown away by this fucking park, guys. It's like apparently 500 acres bigger than Central Park. I feel like, okay, guys, this part of the podcast is brought to you by St. Louis's Forest Park, one of our sponsors on the fucking episode. Okay. But like, dude, this park is fucking dope, dude. Like, it's 500 acres bigger than Central Park. It's immaculate, bro. All the museums on, it's like manicured. It's like well taken care of. And all the museums on it are free. So every single day we could go to the Science Museum, the History Museum, the Art Museum. It was amazing. Just to cover the Science Museum, bro, it took us like 4 fucking days, like full days. It was insane because you're like reading shit, doing shit. There's like workshops. It's fucking dope, guys. Like, and here's another thing. if you have young kids, you can take them to a workshop and then you can sneak away and then go play Crash Bandicoot on like the games area, which is also part of the science museum. I mean, it ages me a little bit, but like, hey, it's wild. So I managed to do that, managed to get a lot of reading in, which was super cool. And also, been working on some math and some like early schema design for something that we were thinking about deploying somewhere on Bitcoin, but we're not really sure where. So, just trying to find the right landing place. So it's like, how it is, you have to like figure out the code base, understand if the language works, does it work optimally with this kind of protocol design, all that kind of shit. But, good things. What about you, bro?
Nice. Yeah. So unlike you guys, I feel like the loser in the group. I did some leveling down over the break. So 23 was wild. Glad it's over. But by the end of last year, I think I just needed a reset. So I had some time off. My wife didn't have time off, so I hung out a lot. I did some reading. I watched way too much. So I never watched television, like literally never. And for some reason, I flipped on the telly and I'm like, oh, what is this show called Yellowstone? And I got into this show Yellowstone, which apparently a lot of people love. So I watched like all of the seasons of that. And so, now I think I'm a cowboy on a ranch somewhere.
Nice.
But yeah, no, it was really chill. Last year, Jamie and I, we did the calculation, 81,000 miles last year.
Whoa.
Fuck.
So it was time to sit still for a little while. So it was good just to have some downtime, relax, watch too much television, but and gear up for 24.
Sometimes that's nice. Sometimes that's what you need, though. It's just to be able to have a little bit of downtime. That way you're charged up, ready to go. I will admit that I've watched almost a whole season of Drive to Survive, the F1 series on Netflix, since I took my exam, which was only a day ago. So sometimes you just need it. So that's good.
Yeah, for sure. Dude. I have to empty out my head for 24 to get ready for this what's turning out to be a wild month in January.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it seems like you did the right thing with the staycation, really. Like, it probably was like, okay, now I have like an empty glass to like basically fill in with all the shenanigans that are just going to be happening. And it's just the first fucking month of the year almost,
Well, speaking of shenanigans, I think we have some shenanigans to talk about, huh?
Yeah.
Like, it's January 12th. We're 12 days into the year and some crazy shit's already happened. So who wants to recap for our listeners some of the wild things that have happened so far? I mean, the markets are, they're pumping, stuff is still turning green. We've seen this whole saga play out with the Bitcoin ETF and our friend Gary, who can't seem to get a handle on the Twitter account. So yeah. Where do we even start, man?
That one's wild. I think we got to start with the ETF. That one, it was just such a wild ride, just seeing the original quote unquote post from the SEC saying it's been approved, followed by 20 minutes later from Gary Gensler's account that no, it was not approved and the account was hacked. And then again, a post from them only to go in and approve it the very next day, which was just kind of wild to me how that all went down. But it's been interesting seeing how the markets reacted to it. I think that looks like a lot of sales based off of it versus, what you might expect like logically would happen. But what did y'all think about all that?
So the other night we're going to dinner and, my wife's she doesn't follow crypto very much outside of listening to me ramble about it too much. But she's generally aware of things and she knew that this was coming. And so I was excited and I was telling her, hey, it's over the line. This thing is happening, or it was about to happen. And I was explaining the whole saga with the Twitter situation and the hack and everything. And granted, she had no background knowledge of this or anything. And so I was like, okay, so you're tracking with this. Do you follow all of this? And she's like, yeah. She's like, so the SEC did it. they weren't hacked. Like they were quote unquote hacked. Right. But it's just, I mean, I don't know how any reasonable person can look at these situations anymore with these regulators like the SEC and not shake their head. Like, why can we not just move forward and start embracing the future?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of funny. Like for me, it seems like the real clusterfuck I think the king of clusterfuck so far seems to be the SEC, for this year. right? Like, what a fucking mess. I mean, there's all these conspiracy theories that are going about like, dude, how the fuck do you have 2FA on your SEC like Twitter account? And then basically 15 minutes later, you recover it somehow magically. And then it's
Right.
like, guys, it was a false alarm. It wasn't approved at all. And you know, what if it was just a timed kind of tweet release and they just fucked it all up? You know,
Yep.
which also funnily breaks press. Apparently that breaks proto. Apparently the SEC does not make huge announcements of ETFs through like Twitter, right? They just go ahead and like notify these parties. I don't know if that's true or not, but like someone told me that. But one thing's for fucking sure, we got some grade A fucking memes coming out from this whole ass shit.
Oh man.
Right? It's so great. Just watching that has been a stream of hilarity for me for the last 3 days. Amazing. The SEC investigating itself, Vanguard ship tanking because they're not offering their fucking
that one's good.
like this kick-ass thing to their customers. It's people in DMs, right? Like there's like people who are like apparently institutional players who are like DMing folks like, dude, do you have a bag of Bitcoin? Can you give me some of this Bitcoin so I can actually make the orders come through? What the fuck? Crazy.
Yeah.
Yo, what's up, Mace?
Mason.
GM.
What's going on, man? How are you?
Good. I'm just dropping in. How's the
one
how's
and
the pod?
only?
What's up?
I said the one and only. We're just talking about the ETF and all the craziness and the good memes that are coming out of all of this.
Dude, it's been a true pleasure to be on Twitter the past couple days. I love being part of history.
It's like we're making up for winter, you know, for a year of winter in a few days.
Yeah, exactly. I just got an email from my city councilwoman in Austin. She said, "Prep for winter." I said, "What winter? It's over."
Nice. That's the right answer. So one of my favorite. Go ahead. Sorry, Ash.
No, I was just gonna say it's kind of funny, right? Because it's like now the real funny thing is that like my parents kind of are like, oh, this is what you do. Now it makes sense to me. Oh, this Bitcoin ETF. And my dad called me up and he was like, bro, how do I get into this Bitcoin ETF? I'm like, I've been trying to tell you what to do, bro. Like, I've been telling you what to do for the last, like, literally 3 years, longer than that. And he's like, no, let's do the ETF. But it's hilarious. Now I feel finally that BlackRock is coming to the space, has given my dad a little bit of credibility about like, okay, my son does do something real and add value to this world here. So great. Thanks, Dad. Shout out, Dad.
Did you see
the night that the announcement came out, my mom sent a text and she's like, hey, so where do you buy your crypto? And I'm like, well, why do you ask? So I'm like, you know, Coinbase, Mom, go to Coinbase. But yeah, it's funny.
Did you see Larry Fink's his thing on CNBC with Andrew Sorkin where he was like, let's tokenize all the assets. Like, this is just the first step. And I was like, what the heck happened to this guy? How big are the bags that he bought? You know,
I saw a tweet this morning. One of my coworkers posted it. The tweet is, if I have to pay a boomer 10x what he paid for his house, he can pay me 1,000x what I paid for my Bitcoin.
That's a fucking good burn, dude. That's a fucking good burn. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy because it's like, you know, there's this guy, Gabriel Hines or whatever. He had this Twitter video where he's sitting shirtless in the car and he's just saying that exact same thing. He's like, Larry Fink is pumping my fucking bags. Let's fucking go. I'm going to drop my ETH on all these boomers and they're going to pay me to make me even more richer. It's hilarious, right? It's this like weird flippening around a singular asset class that's occurring. And I've never seen any other thing in my entire life where there's just been like this generational divide on this asset. And now it's this huge cash flow that's occurring between the two. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Well, and like, I mean, just to your point about, you know, Fink's comment, like beyond the financial impact and the shakeup that this is have and will continue to have, like it's the recognition of a paradigm shift that's happening in our world, which is that tokenization, digital assets, like this shit is the future, right? And it's getting harder and harder for anybody to deny that as part of really the global narrative.
100%.
Yeah. Mason, how was your holiday?
Dude, it was good. I was trying to work, and like Nick from Stand of Crypto and I both like are obviously workaholics, and like we were having calls with each other and stuff. And then at one point we both just realized like, what are we doing? Like, let's just turn off. So I ended up getting a couple days at least where I wasn't really working. And I was talking to Ryan in the DAO from Polygon. We were talking about how like you have to take a couple days to like prepare to relax. And so I definitely got those too, where I was like prepping to not think about stuff. But yeah, you know, it was good. It was good. Now there's just so much stuff to do, but it's all good stuff. Like 2024, we are so back. It is true. I'm feeling it. And I've been doing a lot of cool stuff. So I'm happy. And I got good family time and everything. So and now I'm up here right now. I got to get this on camera for the canon for my life, for ATX DAO lore. Up here right now to be with my mom's side of the family. My grandfather just passed, and literally this morning, but I got to say goodbye to him last night. He was like a leader in technology, did a bunch of cool inventions, like digital lay and all types of stuff. And so he's like one of my primary, if not the like inspiration for my goals to be a leader in technology and everything. So I was able to come up here and tell him, like, give him the update. I hadn't talked to him in so long, and I was just like, hey, look, I got on the Forbes list. Like, I'm managing like all these projects. I built this 200 person organization. We're in like cutting edge technology, blah blah blah. And then I'm pretty sure he heard me, which is awesome. And then that was like the last conversation he got to have. So it's cool. I'm feeling pretty good that I flew up here last minute and caught the last moments. Yeah,
that's super powerful. Yeah, sorry for your loss, but I'm glad you got to tell your story and get a conversation with him.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. I really wanted to communicate that and just tell him like I'm gonna keep doing what he was doing. You know, I think he heard me. So yeah, I'm not super torn up about it. The guy was really really old and lived a very full life. So accomplished a lot of things. And
well, I'm officially dedicating this episode of the podcast to him then.
Yeah, Francis F. Lee, the man, the myth, the legend.
Absolutely.
But
that's amazing, man.
Yeah. Not to drop not to be a bummer or anything. I'd say it's it's an uplifting story. At least that's what I think.
Yeah, no, for sure.
No, it's like one of those
time with him.
It really is. It's like amazing that you got this time, and it's amazing that you also had the ability to share your story with him. And it's super fucking awesome that you're also here to join us and share your grandpa's legacy with us and everyone else, man. So, the best way to remember people is to kick ass and take names while chewing bubblegum and tell people about why the fuck you're kicking ass, So this is awesome.
Yeah, man, for sure. But yeah, glad to be here. What I'll let the conversation go back to what we were talking about. I don't know what the agenda is. I just jumped in, even though you probably thought I wasn't going to show up.
No, we were just catching up about holiday breaks and what we're psyched for 24 and some of the craziness we saw with the ETF. But I think there's been some other stuff happening. You guys were more plugged into some of these side projects than I am. I'm not much of a trader, and I'm too busy to spend a lot of time in Discord or Telegram. But who's the most degen of us here? Is that you, Mason?
It's either Mason or Ash, one of those two.
I think Ash.
I'm going to give it to Mason.
They're the most active in the Telegram chat on the degen Telegram chat.
Dude, I mean, I'm trying. I'm working on it. I'm trying really hard to get in there. I'm trying to make it, bro. There's the window of opportunity here, and I've spent the past couple of years getting plugged into information sources and meeting people. So I'm trying to maximize and research and learn and not make mistakes. So working on it all. But I mean, it's my time to shine. We all have we're all in the know right now. It seems like, at least. So got to capitalize, literally.
What are the narratives out there that you guys are seeing outside of Bitcoin, outside of ETH having some good days? Like, what's happening with other chains? What are the other ideas that are floating out there that you think are going to be big this cycle?
I mean, me and Ash have talked about like Cosmos ecosystem being legit. I remember like when I was playing with it a couple of years ago or whatever, it was cool, but it was a lot harder to use. I got back into it again recently, and I was blown away at the user experience and the improvements that it's had. And makes a lot more sense now. Feeling a lot more comfortable just interacting with DeFi than I did a couple of years ago. I think people have been building in the bear for sure. I've recently been digging around on like Base and trying to stay in touch with like all the stuff being built there, because I know that there's a lot of work being done by the Base team to make it pop off this year, right? They want to bring everyone on chain, and the way they bring up people on chain is with Base. So I'm trying to be aware of what's happening, and I'm trying to stay tuned into Farcaster, right? And there's like a token. Yeah, I'm trying to stay tuned into Farcaster, and there's a lot of overlap with Farcaster and Base, and like even like the ETH community there as well. So I've been tracking some stuff. Like I got in the airdrop for the DGen token that Farcaster is working on, just because I was active and I like found it and I was doing the boost they had. I don't know if that's going to do well, but there's a lot of work that is being put into it. And then I'm like I'm friends with the Unlonely guys, so I've been tuning to their streams. This is just like the past couple of days what I've been looking at. And then I don't know who I was talking. I think I was talking to Richard in the DAO, but like the NFT ecosystem on like Solana and Avalanche seemed like a good place to look as well, just because the fees are so low. And I mean, I'm obviously like, I always plug Avalanche because they've been really good to us, but they're like a legit community. I know, Luke, you like Avalanche as well.
Yes. So I'm pretty deep into that one, especially on the NFT side. So on the other podcast I have, we've interviewed a couple of different NFT project founders, and excited about some of the stuff they have there. I think gaming is going to be huge on Avalanche, just because their blockchain is so fast. They have subnets. It just offers a lot of things. Shrapnel. I don't know if y'all have heard about Shrapnel, but that's going to be huge when that comes out. It's a AAA first-person extraction shooter, so that one's a big deal. But lately, a lot of the stuff has been on meme coins. One in particular, I think Mason, you have some of this as well. But the Coq coin, COQ, has been just wild. So that one was a community-founded coin. Just launched it as a kind of a side thing from the Chicken project, and it's been really good. One of the things I think is interesting about it is that they're having a hackathon related to it now. So between now and the 15th of this month, people are building stuff to use the coin. So it's not just meant to be kind of a silly thing. It is, because it's a meme coin, and like Joe Rogan's tweeted about it or commented about it. But people that can build cool stuff will get prizes and stuff like that. So kind of just an interesting one for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's super interesting. I mean, I'll be honest, like, so I'm throttling on and off with the degen, like, kind of gas pedal there, to be honest. So like, you know, it's really funny. Like, people were like, dude, did you get in any of this ETF action, or do you buy BTC and stuff like that? And I've been very public about it. I'm like, dude, I didn't buy any BTC or ETH or anything like that. In fact, I tried to short BTC on the day of that the actual thing was actually announced, which was nice. But that being said, I bought the Fidelity trade, right? I think I said this like off chain. I think they're the only one that owns the entire pipeline from custodianship to the very front. Fidelity is not our sponsor, but, you know, I guess we'll take your money if you're going to offer us some fucking money, you fucking suits. You know, that being said, like, yeah, I mean, I think I've been spending a lot of time researching Cosmos, which is like, you know, like Mason said, I think it's very interesting. I think the IBC thesis and like a lot of things deploying on there makes a lot more sense to me now. Having a little bit of an experience, like having deployed in other places, I kind of understand like the value prop of like what they're really offering. I also have been looking at a lot of like node infrastructure around like AI ML stuff and blockchain. Mason and I were kind of like lucky enough to get invited to this like AI summit thing. And it was super cool going there and then talking to a bunch of people about, you know, on the idea of building compute rails on like real compute rails on a distributed compute is very interesting. So yeah, I mean, that's something that I've been really grokking a lot. And obviously like BTC, you know, like, because we are actively trying to deploy something onto the BTC ecosystem. We've been looking at L2s on BTCs. We've been looking at side chains on BTCs. I mean, you name it, we've looked at it, right? like everything from ordinals to doginals to to stacks
Doginals.
to yeah, dude. I mean, it looks pretty compelling, man. It's crazy. It has 86 million in market cap. That's insane.
Wow.
That's insane. Think about it.
Yeah.
There's nothing else there except for like an auction style marketplace. It's crazy. So if you talk about brand equity, like we're living
And
in an age.
these are
where-
inscriptions?
Yes, they're basically forked like the BRC20 kind of like protocol, and then they've created DRC20s, which are doginals, and like, bro, that's like a crazy market capture, right? Like we're living in this golden era of like brand equity being captured so fucking quickly because you can use like Twitter to like build a community like so fast. And like, so there's all these like crazy asymmetric plays that can be made. But that, and like I even looked at like this morning I was in a stacks place, right, which for those of you who don't know, it's like a side chain for like Bitcoin, where it's kind of like an account based system like EVM, but it uses a different kind of consensus mech. They're having this thing called the Nakamoto upgrade, which is like trying to reduce the block times, which is also interesting. It has a lot of like cool things that can like make, you know, DeFi actually be more like workable there. But yeah, man, like there's so much shit that's going on. It's like fucking crazy. It's like 2023, like all of us, we were like, let's just put our head down and just like do shit and like survive. And like 2024, we are going to turn from the like, you know, tiny little oak seed to the mighty oak tree, you know? So
Nice.
yeah, man, I'm stoked. It's a good fucking year.
Yeah, definitely. So you guys know that I'm building in the membership and the loyalty space. So Web3 powered loyalty memberships. And it's a strong narrative on the NFT side. It's something that, you know, there's a pretty big competitive field out there. But just within the past week or so, Visa came out and said that they're launching a Web3 loyalty play, which, you know, I don't care about Visa, obviously, like whatever. They're this huge incumbent that's going to take a long time to roll out. But just the fact that you have these huge, you know, giants out there that are now recognizing that this is legitimate tech, right? And they're offering this as part of their value proposition to a really mainstream audience. You know, I start thinking about like what happens when you combine that with, you know, you've got Disney now who's launching their digital collectibles, which are going to be NFTs under the covers. Like this is how we're going to get to 1 billion users, because suddenly this stuff starts to feel super normal to people. And now this digital collectible, when I put on my Vision Pro, which launches soon, you know, I can go use that someplace where I walk into a Roblox experience and this digital collectible that I got at the movie that I paid for with my Visa loyalty points, we're all Web3, by the way. You know, that's super interesting. So I think 24, to your point, Ash, like 24, we're going to see some wild developments that I think people have been working on quietly for the past year.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I gotta quote DJ Khaled. I think I did it in a different podcast, but I'll do it again. Life is Roblox, you know. And I got one more shill, and I gotta go in a second. Coinbase stock. I'm still shilling it every day. The custodian for the ETFs, 8 of the 11, but also they just inked a huge deal with the IRS to do like analytics for tax reporting. So number one, watch out, right? They're coming for your coins. And number two, that's a pretty bullish sign from my perspective, at least.
Yeah, Mason, I took your NFA. I bought some coin.
Nice.
That's insane. Palantir for the IRS. That's crazy. That's basically, wow. That's a smart play. Holy shit. I did not know that.
Well, they can't do it themselves, right? They have to go this route.
Yeah.
There's no way they can even think about enforcement without bringing on somebody who knows this space. Coinbase is a great partner for that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that makes 100% sense. That's awesome, man. Yeah, holy shit. I need to go start buying some fucking coin. God damn it. Why was I not part of this information loop? Why'd you tell Nick and Luke before not telling me?
No, it was in the
in our
Telegram.
alpha chat. Bro,
Yeah,
Ash, it's in the ATX DAO alpha chat.
Yeah.
Dude, it's like high frequency trading in that chat, bro. It's insane. The amount of alpha that's there. God damn it. Okay, I need to start paying attention. I need to create a bot just to like reread everything to me.
Yeah, I mean,
Nice.
Yeah, any potential ATX DAO members listening, it's the hottest alpha chat in Austin. Hell yeah.
It was mentioned at the last meeting that this cycle, Telegram is the new Discord. And it's 1,000% true.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Get your ass to Telegram.
Yeah, straight up.
Yeah.
Straight up. All right. I'm gonna hop, fellas, but thank you for listening to my spiel and letting me go on the record in this moment of personal development. But
For
it's
sure,
good to
man.
see you all, and
Yeah.
then I'll see you next week for the next podcast with Niche, right?
Yeah, sounds good.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Texas
Enjoy
Eclipse.
the time with fam.
All right, thanks, guys. Talk soon.
Thanks, Mace.
And then there were
Man, what a
3.
bench, that guy coming in here,
I know.
especially going through everything that he's doing. Dude, I'm proud of him, man. That's amazing. It's
Like he
really,
literally just had that happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Mason is boss. Yeah.
But yeah, it is kind of crazy that's what's going on. Like, so it's interesting when you make this Visa point that they're coming in, right? Like, it's kind of funny. I wonder if the play is not only because the tech is there, it's because the users and the demo is there, right?
Totally.
There's this generational divide where it's like, not only do they not buy the same financial instruments, it's like they don't use the same kind of banking methodologies, and they don't have the same kind of investment processes that they think about this shit, right? Like,
Right.
it's like,
Right.
bro, I'm not thinking about 80 years from now. I'm thinking about like number go up, number go down, like literally today, you know?
Yeah.
Um,
Well, and
so,
a young
you know,
spender,
super like that.
with a Visa card, like they don't give two shits about the traditional loyalty points. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, who cares? Like, I'll figure out how to get a good deal on my own. But it's interesting if you're going to give me an ERC20 that I can go do something with, and there's liquidity for that thing, and I can make decisions on my own. So, yeah, it's a good point. They probably are going down that path of embracing this next generation of buyer.
Yeah. I mean, it makes it, I'm glad that this is happening, you know. I'm sure there's going to be some missteps along the way, but I just think like the FUD that like, and this is a personal thing, I just think like it's hilarious how Gensler will go up there and then like for 2 days he goes and, you know, he from his Twitter account, he's like, crypto is super risky. Don't fucking do it. And then his, you know, the agency head's fucking SEC account gets like Twitter account gets hacked. And then he has the gall also to come back on like public television and make the claims that he's like, dude, like it's clearly a risky thing. We shouldn't be doing it and all this kind of stuff. I'm like, dude, like I mean, I just don't know what to say. I just like literally like, what the fuck is the only words that can come out of my mouth.
Yeah, for sure. But thankfully, we have people like us and people like the DAO that we can lean into and talk about this stuff with.
Yeah.
Speaking of the DAO, what's happening in the DAO?
So we're an unincorporated nonprofit, which is big news. I think previously we were organized as an LLC, if I'm not mistaken. And I think it just offers a lot of good things. Just really kind of shows the mission of the DAO is really to not necessarily to generate profits, but to help, you know, bring forward the Web3 crypto community in Austin, kind of help it flourish. So I think it's huge news. I'm excited about it. But how about y'all? What do y'all think?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like just having, you know, an entity around the DAO in a way that makes sense, keeps everybody in legal safe zones is great. But I also think that, you know, related to our push last year to get some legislation over the line, you know, continuing to make progress down this front of making sure that DAOs fit into a legally recognized structure. You know, I think this is, you know, one more step that we're taking towards making progress there. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's definitely good forward momentum for the entire community, and like us being members of the DAO to like understand like the framework in which we can operate in. So yeah, I'm happy about this and like real like proud and like kudos to all the people who like made this happen. You know, like
Yes.
it was not easy, and it takes a lot of work and a lot of coordination and effort to like make these things happen, right? So yeah, real amazing stuff. Special shout out to Megan. Like, dude, good to
100%.
see. You know,
Yeah.
like you put this over the line here. This was awesome. So much love.
Yeah, 100. No, that's a great point. You know, like there's the saying, you know, everyone wants to join, no one wants to work, right? Like when it comes to a DAO or any kind of community effort, and I think it's a great example of, you know, the community self-organizing, coming together, getting something over the line. Obviously, Megan was a huge push in this, and echo your shout out. But it's taking responsibility as a community, right? As a DAO to build this thing to the next level, which is where the magic is, right? It's take ownership, take accountability, take action.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's really cool. And I guess it sets also like a precedent, like for other people that are coming into the DAO, like in, and the people in the DAO right now. It's like, hey, you can make these things happen. You just have to put a little bit of elbow grease behind it, and like
Right.
we're all there for each other. So it's like, if you need help, ask for help, and like we should be able to help each other. So yeah, it's super cool, man. Like real.
Yeah, and I mean, like, bigger picture view. I think we live in a world where a lot of people feel helpless or feel like they can't make a difference or don't know where to start. Even though we live in a democracy and we have freedoms that many people in the world don't, and we can take action, I don't think a lot of people feel empowered to take action. Like we've somehow lost a lot of agency in our society. And so to see something like ATX DAO or any other city DAO, start to bring people together in meaningful ways that motivate action and that remind us that, you know what? No, we can fucking do things. Like we can take action, we can make change, we can do positive things for our community, and we don't need permission. We can do this today. Right? Like that's one of the macro effects of not only the DAO, but just crypto in general that I love. It's like power back to the people. Let's make good happen.
Yeah, that's really well said, Nick. I think just because like people that want to get involved, they also know where to go. That, there's a group of people that are helping do this. And if you want to be a part of it, there's an inclusive attitude about how to make the things happen. So really well said.
Well, speaking of community stuff, we have a pretty cool thing coming up here. ATX DAO pitch competition. So we are bringing together startups, projects, founders that I think we're covering Web3 covering crypto, AI. What else? There's another category.
I think it's like DeSci as well, and maybe like even DPIN.
Okay.
I think these are all 4 categories, but I'm not exactly sure, to be honest. But I know that DeFi ML are like big thing. Oh, well, Web3 ML are like big things that are there for sure.
It's going to be an awesome all-day event. We've got a great, thanks to Roberto, he's been spearheading a lot of this, but we've got a great judging panel lined up. We've got a full day of activity. Everybody's going to be there to support these startups when they get up and they pitch. And I think there's a prize pot of like $10,000 cash, which is awesome. We're hosting this in cooperation or in collaboration with Austin Community College. And so this is an amazing, I think, way for us to get back to the community and start to really foster innovation in a meaningful way.
Yep.
Yeah. Also, special shout out to Austin Community College. I know Mason mentioned that they were actually I think that they were really helpful in like helping collaborate, like, and get to the idea of like, hey, how do you build and build, getting their students to like understand like how do you build in like Web3, get access to VCs, how do you pitch? Like this is super critical. So like it's a good kind of knowledge transfer that's occurring there. And like, you don't pick up these skills like in a book. Like you don't get like 90%. I think everyone understands this. Is that like when you go to school, it seems like 90% of what you learn there is like purely bullshit once you come out into the real world, right? The application weight is like much lower. But these are things that were super, we hope that were very, very helpful to anyone that's from ACC, and not only all the other teams that were part of the competition and the people that are made it so far, but like, yeah, I mean, just special shout out to them too. So yeah.
So yeah, it is. So Saturday, the 27th of January, runs from 10 to 5, and it's going to be at Austin Community College Highland campus. And then in terms of the applicants, there are 85 applicants applied, and then 21 are going to pitch. So excited about it. Should be a great one.
Nice. Yeah, we're going to hear some cool stuff. Well, speaking of giving back to the community and getting people involved, there's another thing happening, which we mentioned a couple of episodes ago, but it's this artist residency program with, it's in partnership with Avalanche, the Avalanche Network. And so I always mispronounce it, but it's Avasance. Do you guys know if that's right?
I think so. I think that's
that's the initiative.
I guess so. Yeah, that sounds
Yeah,
about right. Let's go with that.
They're a Mona Lisa.
Yeah, we're gonna go with
program.
that. Avasant. So Avalanche has this initiative that they're working with a bunch of different partners on, but basically providing grants of AVAX, the native network token, to organizations like ATX DAO, who are then working with the community to find artists and give them essentially stipends or grants to learn about the blockchain and bring their art on chain, which is so freaking cool because art is such an important like kernel of our founding story in crypto. You know, art like just so closely connected. And at the same time, I personally have talked to so many artists, like traditional artists, who see this and they're like, that's cool, I want to get involved. I have no idea how. Like, teach me about crypto. And it's like, well, can we sit down for 3.5 days and I'll walk you through it? And it's just like the barrier to entry has been so high. And so this is a really cool way to get people involved. I think either of you guys know the details on Bob. He's a member of the DAO. He's going to be working on some educational content with these folks, right?
Yeah, so I had a chance to talk quite a bit with him this past DAO meeting, and so he's got a whole like group of slide deck to kind of go through all the way from like brand new people that have never touched crypto, never touched NFTs, to people that are more seasoned. So all the way from like setting up a wallet security to the process of having a collection, all that kind of thing. So really excited about that, and just overall, I think the initiative is going to be great. I did notice that one of the artists is one that I was familiar with in advance. So if anyone listening to the podcast is an Austin FC fan, if you've ever seen the TIFOs, which are these giant banners that cover like a whole section of the stadium, one of the artists, Oolong, who's done some of our best ones, is in the program. So I'm a little bit
that's awesome.
like fanboying out. I'm going to have to try to see if I can snag one of his NFTs when he does his mint.
That's so fucking
that's amazing.
Cool.
Yeah, that's super cool. I wonder, do you know if there are any plans to like obviously bringing the art on chain, but I wonder if any artists are going to do like physical counterparts, because it would be awesome to have an NFT that's connected to a real world painting.
Yeah.
Like I would love to own a piece like that.
Yeah, that'll be a good one for us to talk about when we do the session. So it's so we'll actually have those sessions about a couple weeks after we launch this episode, but that will be interesting because there's a whole variety of folks that are doing different things. A lot of them, like their background is in like physical painting. They haven't done anything digital yet. And then there's some doing other mediums as well. So I think having a digital twin for some of their real world stuff would be a really cool thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that, like you said, I mean, it's like music and art is like synonymous in everyone's lives. And it's cool to like get all these Web2 like artists, not to say that like some pixel dumps are just not artists, but it's like great to see like artists actually come on here and then use the tech and then really, reach a new medium. That's super awesome. I would love to see some real world pieces and some digital pieces collaborate or create this hybrid kind of existence of, some kind of art piece. That would be really, really cool. Yeah, man, I'm stoked with this. And Bob with 2 B's is doing a great fucking job on this. So yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I was just thinking like, we've talked about creating, kind of a citywide loyalty program through the DAO, right? And I think we've even talked a bit about that as part of this initiative. But I would love to see a world where I can walk into an Austin bar or coffee shop and see art on the wall and scan a QR and I can buy that thing and that NFT gives me redemption rights. Like that's where I want to see this stuff start coming together.
Yeah, I think that there's like this, it's like really the idea of like connecting a narrative with an actual product is a lot easier when done through this kind of tech stack, right? Yeah. And it would be super cool to see that stuff like be part of our everyday lives, even this stuff like where, you mentioned like this artist is like, dude, he does the stuff from Austin FC. That's amazing to think about. Like, I never even thought like, whoa, here's his artwork. Here's it in a digital format. And like, there's this opportunity for like people, like, I don't watch a lot of soccer or football, right? To be honest, I don't get the time to, unfortunately, even though I need to. I could used excuse to sit around with a beer and just like watch a game every once in a while, to be honest. But like, that's a super cool thing to see, like, oh, hey, you're on this tech side of things. And then you see this and you're like, that guy is using our stack and it's like now connected to this. It's a beautiful way to cross over and see your stuff in like everyday things, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's fucking awesome. That's all I can say. I'm just words out of my word mouth. That's all I can say.
That's why we bring you on the show, man.
Yeah, I know. Like, what the fuck? Just like, yeah. Wax poetic about this shit.
There's let's see, we got ETH Denver coming up. That's beginning of February. So
yeah.
I think there's a small delegation from the DAO that's heading out to ETH Denver, loosely organized. I saw talk in the TG about trying to organize an Airbnb or something, getting people together. I think we're trying to do some loosely organized events while we're there. I'm not going to be going this year because the past 3 times I've been, I've ended up with COVID. So I'm going to sit this one out. But if you're going to be out there, definitely connect with your other DAO members or connect with the DAO if you're not a member. There's going to be, it's a wild circus. Have you guys both been before?
I've not.
Yes, I have. And yeah, last year was like it was a COVID hotspot. I wouldn't be surprised if it was flagged by the health authorities for propagating COVID too far, too quick. But yeah, man, it's an amazing experience. It's kind of a shame that you guys aren't making it this year. I would definitely say that you guys should come. You guys definitely have to do the Bidle-a-thon. You haven't really done a hackathon until it's in the basement of like a rodeo complex with like no internet and it's fucking freezing and it's complete like chaos, but it's wonderful at the same time and you get to really know people. That's
right. It's not at the sports castle anymore.
Yeah. So it's like, last year when we did it, it was like, it was kind of weird, right? It has this very huge layout. It's not like if people are familiar with like permissionless that happened in Austin here, it was kind of like all aggregated to like the exhibition center, which is
right
downtown Austin, right? It's like one big thing. You can see everything, you can go around, you can catch everything there. Side events, obviously outside, right? But this is kind of like separate buildings. And like the hackathon was like in the basement level of like this main building. And there was like, it's a good thing that it's like 2 weeks if you're doing the hackathon, right? It goes from like 23rd of February actually to like March the 3rd or something like that. But anyways, the hackathon, it was in the basement. So when we showed up, we were like, where the fuck do we go? And we were just like walking around like idiots for the longest time. And they're like, it's in the basement. So then you go down the basement and then you come into this room and it doesn't look obvious because like there's this long tunnel and then it's like you have to go to this side room and it turns into this huge expanse of a room. And that's where everyone was. But it was awesome, man. It was like, it's hacking away at like, at your WeWork or at your home is not a real hackathon. You have to like crash.
Yeah.
You have to be kind of like, putting deodorant in the pits because you're like trying to submit like last fucking minute, like you're like, what the fuck is going on here? You're eating like stale ass Cheetos and Mountain Dew. Like that's the experience. And it was awesome, man. It was fucking dope. For people who haven't done it, go fucking do it. It's awesome. You'll meet a bunch of cool people. The people at ETH Denver and the stewards are so fucking cool. And like, it's great, man. You'll meet so many interesting things. Are you
hacking this year, Ash?
I want to go hack, but I think I might not be able to. I think for this BTC project, we have like this demo day that we have to do like somewhere along that period. So I think I might have to me and my co-founder have our own little internal hackathon going on for that, of trying to push that out. So I don't know if we'll be able to do it. But I just wanted to drop this stat. I do remember this very clearly. So last ETH Denver, the youngest person there that was hacking away, I think was like something like 8 to 10 years old.
Whoa, that's crazy.
And yes, at the hackathon. And the oldest person was 65 years old.
Nice.
That's amazing, right?
Yeah,
like that goes to tell you that like, it's this whole thread about like, dude, if you want to learn, you can fucking learn. And if you want to go do something, there's always people to help you go do that shit. So come out, check it out. It's so It's so fucking cool, man. So go do it. Yeah. I honestly think it's like one of the better hackathons I've ever done. So do it.
Nice.
Just because the shenanigans that have come along the way, you get the full experience.
All right. Well, if you want to get a whiff of ash, head out to Denver for ETH Denver.
Yeah. This time I'm not hacking, so don't worry, guys. But there's a bunch of people, like as Nick said, there's a bunch of people from the DAO going. So you're going to see ATX DAO out there. I think there's going to be a few speakers that might also
they always
be
have
up there.
Great speakers, yeah.
Yeah,
and great parties.
No, but I think that great parties, great speakers, great side events. But I think ATX DAO might be doing a panel or a speaker set at ETH Denver. I'm not 100% sure. I think that might be happening as well. But yeah, we're there, so it's going to be a lot of fun. I think it's going to be great. It's going to be great.
Nice. One more reason to come join us in Telegram.
Yes.
Get the deets about this stuff.
Oh yeah. Find out exactly where to go, where not to go. Who's giving out the best swag? Like, oh my God. I remember at the hackathon last year, I think everyone has a version of this story, right? Where they like have a buddy who shows up with like no clothes and they leave with like a year's wardrobe full of like clothes, right? Because the swag was on point. Last year, I fucked up and missed out on the Lens full sweatsuits that they were giving. Dude, it was fucking
like tracksuits,
bro. Yeah, they were giving out these dope ass tracksuits, and it was so fucking comfy. And I missed out on it. It's kind of lame, but got a lot of other swag.
Last time I was there, I was walking around. I didn't bring another bag, so I wasn't collecting a lot of swag. But there were literally people going from booth to booth, like not even looking at the shirt, but going by feel. So they would go feel the shirt, and if it wasn't like the right shirt, they would just throw it back. Just doing it, like literally just shopping with swag.
Wow.
What is this? 100 count cotton? Who the fuck do you think I am? Take this shit back. Yeah.
Do you have any merino wool back there?
Exactly. Yeah. But it's awesome. I think that it's going to be great. I would encourage anyone who's new to this space or been in this space for a long time to come by and check it out. And if you see one of us with our ATX DAO shirts, feel free to come on up to us and talk to us, So yeah, be kind of cool.
Awesome. All right, fellas. Well, it's good to catch up after the holidays. Looking forward to, 12 days in and it's already crazy. So see you again soon. I'm sure we're going to have many, many stories to tell.